Welcome back into the Sky Pod. It is a beautiful night out here in Georgia. I want to give a huge shout out to all my family, my friends, supporters, vets, service members currently serving. I appreciate you. I salute you. I love you. Thank you for the support. June 21st, Broken Bridges. The Sky Pod will be up and running. The Snooty Lounge will be up and running. Rodney Washington and myself have a great content package coming to you that weekend. But vets, on the 21st, come out to the Broken Bridges. People that serve with me and Rodney, send us a text, message us on our socials, or email us. Do what you got to do. We're coordinating. It's going to be a great time to come out, talk about what you're doing in life, share those experiences, share some laughs, reignite those old flames, and get after it. Let me know about the 21st. I'm going to start the segment or the podcast off with a new segment called Blaine's Breakdown. I'm going to break down each division in the NFL, all leading up to NFL Week 1. I'm going to rank the teams within division and give you the why I'm ranking them where they are. I'm going to start out with the AFC East. First team up, the Buffalo Bills. Why? Josh Allen, BBL Joshy. The Buffalo Bills have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And ask the New England Patriots, when they had an elite quarterback in that division, they dominated it. 20 years winning. The Patriots were the best team in the AFC East with the best quarterback in the league. Josh Allen is an elite quarterback, the returning and reigning MVP. The Bills are going to be the best team in that division. Their defense was third in takeaways last year, and the offense capitalized on those turnovers. The defense is still intact. Milano is still there. Von Miller is still there. They still have a very complementary secondary. People in the backfield, in the secondary, they are able to stop other teams. They had the 9th most rushing yards in the league last season. They had 131.2. They have a dual threat quarterback, and they have Dalvin Cook Jr. That running game is a problem, and they were one Dalton Kincaid drop pass away from being in the Super Bowl. The offense scored a record 525 points last season and 65 total touchdowns. That is a franchise record. The Buffalo Bills will be the best team in the AFC East. Coming in at second is going to surprise a lot of the people that follow this podcast and follow the NFL, but I have the New England Patriots. Why? 2 words. Mike Vrabel. He is a proven winner in this league. He is a culture setter. He is a great leader. He holds his players accountable. He had 4 winning seasons at the Tennessee Titans, 4 of them. And he had an AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. He is known for instilling culture and winning and setting standards. They drafted Trevon Henderson. They still have Ramondre Stevenson coming out of the backfield as a 1-2 combo. Why do I say this? Well, Mike Vrabel loves to run the ball. In Tennessee, when he had Derrick Henry, they have one of the best rushing attacks in the league. Expect them to continue to run the ball, especially with Mike Vrabel as a head coach. And with a great running game, it's going to help their 3rd overall draft pick from last season in Drake May. He did a lot with nothing. He was able to throw game-winning touchdowns and show you why they drafted him 3rd overall. He has that it factor. He has the arm. He throws with anticipation. He understands what he's looking at on the field. With the addition of Stephon Diggs and a great running game under Mike Vrabel, they drafted Will Campbell, who they signed today. They signed that left tackle. He is going to protect Drake May's blind side. Expect Drake May to take a huge leap in his 2nd year, and the Patriots are going to be a tough team to beat this season. Coming in at 3rd, and I'll never say it again, is the Jets. Jets make me throw up. But I'm excited for the Jets. Here's why. Justin Fields was 4-2 as a starter last year in Pittsburgh. Dysfunction at all. He had 10 total touchdowns, 1 interception, 5 passing, 5 rushing, and he had 289 rushing yards, and he protected the ball. Sports Illustrated reported 2 days ago that some people within that building in Pittsburgh wanted to go back to Fields. Why? Because you drafted him in Chicago and his ceiling was here. He's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the game. Nobody goes to Chicago and succeeds. Ask Caleb Williams when you have Keenan Allen and you have DJ Moore and you have a great running game. The coaching staff and the development, it's an institutional failure. It was an institutional failure with Justin Fields. Now you have him reunited with Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. Why do I bring that up? Well, chemistry matters. Ask Joe Burrow when they drafted Jamar Chase. His numbers skyrocketed. Chemistry matters. Him and Garrett Wilson at Ohio State were productive. They won games, and they understand a winning culture. Breece Hall, when healthy, is one of the best running backs in the league. Justin Fields and Breece Hall both are a threat to run the ball at a high clip. What does that do to defenses? It brings them down. They stack the box, man coverage, single safety high. That means easy progressions, easy reads for Justin Fields, and he has a trusted receiver from college, and he has one of the best backs in the game. Oh, and by the way, he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the league. On the defensive side of the ball, they were third in total defense last year. Forget the win-loss record. Third in total defense. Their pass defense was the second best in the league. On average, they gave up 128 yards per game. Sauce Gardner, Mr. Saucy, too much sauce. Saucy, last time I checked, he's one of the best corners DBs in the game. He's shut down. He's lights out. The Jets have plenty to be excited for in 2025. And the last team I have here in the AFC East, and here comes my bias, but I'm going to be hard on them because they've cut my heart out and thrown it on the table, is the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel is going to regret doubling down with Tua. He's going to regret it. Tua is 2-13 in his last 15 games against winning teams that finished with winning records. Since 2022, he's 6-14 against teams with winning records. Tua has missed 14 games due to injury in the past 4 seasons. And by the way, he's 1-6 against Josh Allen in his career. You should have never gave him the 5-year $235. That was a mistake. It was a mistakees. That was a bad business investment. Jalen Ramsey, the guy that you paid to be the highest DB in the game, now wants out. That was a bad business investment. Tyreek Hill publicly said he's wanted out twice now, once during the season and once at the end of the year. He's unhappy. He's the best player you got, and he's now hitting 30. The offensive line, one of the worst offensive lines in football last year, didn't get better in the draft and didn't get better in free agency. And all the icing on the cake is a report from Brian Miller said the veterans inside the locker room are growing tired of Mike McDaniel's coaching style. Well, you know why they're growing tired of it? Because you can't win with gimmicks. It's not a superpower to have design plays. If you're calling a quarterback superpower throwing with anticipation and accuracy, you don't know football. He can't play off skip. He can't play off script. He can't throw the top off. Put in Zach Wilson. He can throw a 60-yard go ball. And then guys like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill will unlock their full potential. You know why Tyreek Hill was so great in Kansas City? Because Mahomes was throwing him 66-yard dots through the air. Tua can't do that. Design plays, win with speed. You know how you stop that offense? You get physical. You put him on your butt, and then you hit Tua. He's out for a month. The Dolphins will be the worst team in that division, and expect Mike McDaniel, and I'm not hoping because he's one of the best offensive minds in football, and he's one of the best head coaches we've had since Don Shula, but you doubled down with one, and you're going to go down with one. Expect him to be on the hot seat this year. Whew! I'm going to transition the podcast into 2 incredible, powerful concepts. This could be for character development, veterans who are struggling, or people who are struggling. I want to talk about 2 powerful concepts: forgiveness and erematism. Erematism is the practice of solitude, living away from distractions of everyday life and seeking inner peace. I want to give that definition. But let's talk about forgiveness first. If you are suffering in your life, or can't get past certain things that have happened to you, and you're carrying that dead weight and you're carrying that negative energy that's seeping into everything in your life, trust me, I've gone through it as well, and I've practiced these two things, and it can change a lot about your outlook on life. I'm going to talk about two certain topics where these things are applicable, things that have reached out to me, veterans and other people, and we're going to explain how if you practice forgiveness and aromatism, how it could directly affect you in a positive way. So let's start. Well, first, let's give up these scenarios. So if you are suffering through a divorce or lost friendships, forgiveness and aromatism or solitude can truly make a difference. So let's start with forgiveness. We've all been hurt. Everyone walking this earth who's an adult past the age of 25 with that fully developed frontal lobe to understand that hurt. We've all been hurt, whether that's through a broken relationship, a betrayal, or simply people in your life letting you down. So specifically, I want to talk about a guy who reached out to me. In this case, we're going to talk about divorce. This is where forgiveness can be particularly powerful. When a marriage ends, it can feel like you've lost everything. Trust me, I know. You've lost your partner, you've lost your dreams, and often you've lost a sense of yourself. A part of yourself is dead. But holding on to that anger and that resentment towards your ex-partner doesn't bring healing. That person doesn't owe you anything. Even if you sacrificed a lot or you've done a lot with that person, they don't owe you anything. So if you continue to hold resentment, it's going to keep you anchored there. You're going to be stuck in that cycle of hurt. You don't, when a snake bites you, you don't go and chase the snake and justify why it bit you or justify why it shouldn't have bit you. It bit you. Get over it. So I can speak from experience in that department, but also instead of holding on to bitterness towards your ex for the way she treated you or for the way it ended, if you don't let go of it, it's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect your mental health. It's going to affect your ability to move forward in your own life. But when you practice forgiveness, that's the only way you're going to free yourself. But you're doing it for yourself, not for them. You're doing it for yourself and for your peace. Once you let go of the anger and the fact that it happened, you're going to form healthier relationships. You're going to even feel better about life. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're condoning what they did. Like, it doesn't mean like you're saying, oh, what they did was okay. No, it doesn't mean that. It's just releasing those negative emotions attached to that event that's compelling you to act the way you're acting. Let it go. Forgiveness is a release. It's like opening a window after you've been trapped in a stuffy room for hours. It doesn't erase the past, but it clears the path for healing and new growth. And then in another case, for a lost friendship, forgiveness. Sometimes, and many of us can relate, you constantly have people fluctuating in and out of your life. If you practice forgiveness, it helps out tremendously. Friendships can end for different reasons, a variety of different reasons, whether it's distance, misunderstandings, or even betrayal. Once you decide to forgive and you let what happened happen and you understand they're human beings, you can move on with your life. You don't have to rekindle the friendship. You don't have to rekindle the relationship, but release the negative energy. They know what they did. They know how they treated you, and they have to live with that. If you can put your head down at night and realize that you tried your best and they villainized you just because they could, let it go. It's life. Shit happens. Forgiveness doesn't mean inviting those people back in your life, but rather it allows you to move forward and heal. Forgiveness, and this is big, forgiveness is about you. It's about creating space for peace in your heart, regardless on whether the person who wronged you ever apologizes. You're never going to get an apology. Never. It's ego. It's stubbornness. It's lack of accountability. You're never going to get it. They're going to put it back on you. So forgive yourself and move forward. So that's forgiveness. So let's explore eremitism, the practice of solitude, living away from distractions of everyday life and seeking inner peace. Eremitism isn't about rejecting society or isolating yourself forever. It's about carving out time for self reflection and reconnection with your deeper self. This concept can be incredibly helpful during times of emotional turbulence like divorce or the end of a friendship. When you step back, when you step away from the chaos, you can hear your own voice more clearly. You begin to understand your emotions, your boundaries, and your true desires. I'll say this confidently. If you put yourself in an environment where they might have a little envy towards you, or they might want to be right about a narrative they had about you in the past, about whoever you might have been before, you're never going to heal. You can't go into an environment that broke you in the first place and expect to heal. Isolate yourself. What does that mean, isolate yourself? Get off of social media. Remove yourself from community that doesn't serve a purpose for you, that brings you down. Eremitism is the practice of solitude. The beauty of it is that in modern world where we're constantly surrounded by noise, people, work, social media, when you practice solitude, it offers a chance to reconnect with yourself, to get to know yourself, to reset and regain perspective. It's about clearing that clutter, both external and internal, and finding peace and stillness. Find peace within yourself. Find peace with doing nothing. Find peace with being alone. Love yourself. And then ultimately, then you can decide after all that self-reflection, after forgiving everything that happened, after losing that friendship or losing that relationship, forgive it. Practice the forgiveness, but then isolate for a while. Remove yourself from people. And then when the smoke clears and the clutter clears, decide what community you want to be in. Decide what environment you want to be around. Decide what people you want to be around. Be around people with high values, who care about accountability and who care about your success and care about your progression. It's important in your life. When you combine forgiveness with eremitism, you create a powerful recipe for healing. You let go of the past and its pain, and you embrace those quiet moments that allow you to rebuild from within. It's not about forgetting the hurts or isolating yourself permanently. It's about creating space for your soul to heal. So I'm going to leave the podcast with this. Think about what might be holding you down, whether that's pain, whether that's that pain's from divorce or friendship or anything else. What would happen if you just let it go? And how might spending time in solitude help you reconnect with who you really are and what you truly want out of life? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop me a message and let's keep that conversation going. What do y'all think about forgiveness and solitude during your time in healing? And I hope that helped anybody who's struggling in life. Practice those things. Find that relationship, whether that's a relationship within God or a relationship within yourself. Figure out what you want out of life and heal. My final quote for the podcast is this: don't worry about the people God removed from your life. He heard the conversations you didn't. He saw the things you couldn't. He made moves you wouldn't. We are only on earth for a short period of time. So I'm going to take this opportunity in episode 7 to give a huge shout out and show that love where love is deserving. So I want to say, Mr. Chris, I want to thank Chris Chambers. Bro, you have been such an inspiration into my life. You were there for me in the darkest hour of my life, and you've held me accountable, and you remember me for what I'm capable of. You remember the person I am going to be, and you accept me for who I'm going to be, and all of those quirks. Congrats on your new baby girl. Congrats to the Chambers family. Mr. Chris, man, you've done everything, bro. You've been my rock in these hard times. I love you, Chris. I can't say that ever. I owe you everything. I want to say, Chris Beal, our conversations that we have every single day about God, about purpose, and about what we can be doing better in our life, It truly inspires me, bro. You give me a reason to get up out of bed in the morning. I love you. I love you and Ashlyn. I hope the family's doing well. Doing well. It's been 8 years since my first military ball, and I want to give a huge shout out to Pale Horse Troop 42CR from the best years from 2015 to 2018. We were the best troop in the squadron. Outlaw, Nemesis, HHT, it didn't matter, baby. Pale Horse and Tree, best troop out there. I want to say, David Stover, lock the troop door, dog. I saw the Facebook comment, baby. Lock the troop door, baby. Safety kill, drill sergeant of the year. It didn't matter, dog. Go back to the resets position, man. You, Rosales, Gunderson, it didn't matter, dog. Safety kill, slam the headset. I want to say any veteran who's suffering through the transition getting out of the Army, or you're overwhelmed or you're lost, you're not alone. Call Battle Buddy, call a family member, talk to them. Call me. I'll be that ear. I'll listen. Give me a shout. I'm here for you, man. You are not alone. And I want to say, Chance, Crashy, Papa is always going to love you. No matter if I'm there today or tomorrow or the next day or whatever it is going to be, I love y'all. I love my puppies. And hopefully someday down the road, when the time is right, we're going to reunite. I'm going to see y'all again. And I will put you cages. I will put you places. But I will bring some new toysies. Dockside toysies. I miss y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate everyone for watching the podcast, episode 7. Once again, a huge shout out to all my friends, family, supporters, veterans, service members currently serving. I appreciate y'all. You know what they say. There goes S.